The wild horses of North America are quickly disappearing. There once was a time when they ranged from the Midwest to the Southwest of the United States, all the way up to the southern part of Canada. There were seas of wild horses, similar to that of the bison herds. These magnificent animals are known today as the Mustang. The horse originated in North America. During the Ice Age, when the level of the oceans were very low, some of these horses migrated into Asia across the land bridge between what is now Alaska and Siberia. These horses are ancestors of what we know as the modern horse. Selective breeding has almost eliminated the ancient horse markings in the modern horse. These markings can include a stripe running down the back, also known as a dorsal stripe, zebra stripes on the legs, wither bars, and fish boning off of the dorsal stripe. In 1946, the General Land Office and the U.S. Grazing Service formed one entity, which is known today as the Bureau of Land Management. Since then, the wild horse has become one of the most sought-after species to be removed from this nation's rangelands, thought to be no more than common vermin by some ranchers and land barons. The wild horse has suffered the most due to greed, hatred towards them, and most of all, politics. Wild horses, by most, are categorized as feral horses because of their detached background and some being domestic horses gone astray. But more and more evidence is leading to the discovery that these majestic animals survived the Ice Age and should be protected. In the Pryor Mountains, located near the Montana-Wyoming border, is a small herd of wild horses which bear markings similar to those of the ancient horses. The herd is being reduced by the Bureau of Land Management under the authority of the Wild Free Roaming Horse and Burro Act of 1971. This act, originally intended to provide protection for wild horses, has been amended to encourage their capture and slaughter. A combination of herd reduction and sterilization of mares endangers the future of this herd and other herds in the West. What happened to the horses left in North America? They have been pronounced extinct a number of times. However, a horse carcass in good condition was found in 1993 by placer miners digging in the permafrost in the Yukon. This carcass was estimated to be about 10,000 years old. DNA research by Anne Forston of the University of Helsinki found it was genetically equivalent to the modern horse. More recently, DNA from permafrost samples confirmed that horses survived the Ice Age. Since the horses in Asia survived in a similar environment, there is no reason to believe that the horses in North America became extinct. In 1991, Claire Henderson of Laval University made a statement to the North Dakota Senate. This statement includes information that Native Americans had and were using horses before the arrival of the white man. Early explorers Varndre and Lewis and Clark found that Native Americans, such as the Crow tribe, who have a reservation near the Pryor Mountains, already using horses. It has been assumed these were Spanish horses brought to the New World in the 16th and 17th centuries. If this assumption is correct, what would explain the markings of the Pryor Mountain horses, since the markings were largely absent in the Spanish horses? It would be next to impossible to assemble a breeding herd predominantly bearing the ancient markings. If the majority of the horses were native stock, not changed by selective breeding, and bred with a small number of Spanish horses, the resulting offspring would likely carry the ancient markings. As Dr. J. Kirkpatrick pointed out in his presentation to the U.S. Congress in January 2007, the Spanish horses and the North American horse are of the same species. Importation of the Spanish horse was only a reintroduction of a native species. Therefore, the wild horses are not feral and deserve protection. Today, the Bureau of Land Management is removing these horses at an alarming rate. Unless action is taken to protect the wild horse, the native horse of North America, the Mustang, may disappear.